gains. I gotta elevate my mind, I can't keep moving the same. I gotta spread my hustle, increase my gains. I gotta elevate my mind, I can't keep moving the same. I gotta spread my hustle, increase my gains. I gotta elevate my mind, I can't keep moving the same. I gotta spread my hustle, increase my gains. I gotta elevate my mind, I can't keep moving the same.
Yo, I love it, man. Yo, to this day, man, you came through on that one, man. You came through on that one.
Oh, really?
I made about 3 or 4 of them.
Man,
I think that's other ones I haven't even heard.
we're going to have to get back on the drawing boards with another one, but until then, that wasn't going to have to rock. But fellas, welcome back, man. Welcome back. Hey, man.
It was good. It was good.
Hey, man, it's good to see y'all. How y'all been holding up with the quarantine, man?
Working still.
What quarantine?
I'm blessed.
Yeah, man. We blessed to had our jobs, keep them, get that money coming in. My man flashing the shirt. DCXXXI.com. Get yours right now.
Bow.
Mac, I see you got yours rocking. Maculus. Black businesses, we rising up, baby. We rising up. Yeah, man.
Hey, our first virtual show, bro.
Yeah,
What's
that's our
going
first virtual show, man. We had to expand. We got to keep up with the times. You know what I mean? We gotta stay with the people. Let them know that we still here for them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But right now
bro.
they need people like us, man, because the world is in turmoil right now. We was all quarantined with this coronavirus, and just when you thought shit can get any worse, soon as they let us out, cops went crazy, and now we witnessed a man be murdered in the middle of the street in broad daylight, while people watched, while other cops watched. One man had his knee on this guy's neck. George Ford, say his name, rest in peace. Rest in peace to his to his spirit. He's an ancestor now. He's watching down over his family. My condolences to his family. But it's like, when is this shit gonna stop, bro? Like, when is this shit gonna stop?
We've been asking that question for so long, but we talked about something at the job that you had kind of made my antennas go up.
Mm-hmm.
What's your purpose? Like, what would you want to happen?
Well, for me, what I would want to happen is, I want these cops to be held accountable. I want them to be held accountable. Eric Garner,
Orlando Castro,
Rice, all these young men and women that were slain by cops. There was no convictions. There's no convictions. They either get arrested, they go through a little court thing, and they get acquitted. You know what I mean? And then now we got riots on our hands. Every city, riots are spreading.
Mm-hmm.
And then they expecting people to remain calm. We've been remaining calm this entire time. How many times?
You got to think about it too, though. You got people that have cabin fever, for lack of better words.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
They've been in the house all this time, and then if you think about it, this whole stuff, it happened in threes. It happened with the Ahmaud thing. Then they had the thing with Amy Cooper that was trying to call the police on the young man in the park, which she was hoping he was going to turn into George Floyd. So it's like, it happened in threes, and it happened so quickly, it's like people just got fed up. And it's like, it's happening back to back. People got cabin fever, they want to get out, they want to do this. Now you gave them more reason to get out, but now we all out mad.
Right, man. So look, check this out. I got a couple people that want to chime in. They want to give their, their point of views along with ours. And I think this is exactly what we need. We need to have a conversation first, because I always tell people we need a plan, but before we can get the plan, we got to have the conversation.
Right.
So I got a brother here. I'm gonna see if I can get him in. His name is DESMOND PEACOCK. I know him for about over 20 years. I know him since 9th grade in high school, man. So that was many moons ago, man. But he got a beautiful family. He's a Army vet. He's studying to be a minister at his church. So he's doing big things, man. He's a blessed brother, and I love to get his point of view. When sometimes my point of view get cloudy, so he's the person I call, you know, when I want to get a clear view on something. You know what I mean? Y'all got somebody like that in your lives?
Yes, sir. Guess who it is? You.
Man, look at that. I love it, man. Pay it forward. I'm glad I could be. I'm glad I could be that for you, man.
For me, it's my pops.
Yeah, man. You and your pops got a great bond. I love the bond you and your pops have.
You know, it's Floyd all day for me.
Yeah. When I come into work, you be on the phone with him. Yes, sir. All right. Cool. Bang bang.
You should hear the wild stuff he be telling me though.
Yo, we gotta get together and have like a gentleman's night.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get him on the horn right now. Hey, yo, D, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear y'all, man.
What's up, brother?
Good. What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, fellas, I want to introduce y'all to Desmond Peacock here. Like I said, I've known him for over 20 years. I've known him since the 9th grade of high school. You know, we've been through thick and thin with each other. You know what I mean? He's an Army vet. He's beautiful family. He got 2 sons, 2 daughters, a lovely wife. Man, he's living it up here, man. Peace, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Pleasure to be here, man.
Absolutely, man. Glad to have you on. So we was just sitting here talking about the you know, the killing of George Floyd and the protests and the riots that ensued after. You know, give us your reflections of what's going on right now, man.
Man, the revolution will be televised.
Speak, brother. Speak.
Pretty much, man. Immediately when I saw what happened, you know, I saw it on, somebody posted on their Facebook page, and immediately I went back to, okay, here we go, another black man dying. Right. But I began to look closely at it, you know, and I saw like just the lack of compassion that this police officer had. You know, this man literally put his knee in this man's neck and just like sat there and didn't care. He didn't care at all. Man. Just really suffocated him. And one thing that I heard was, you know, when Mr. Floyd, he yelled out for his mother. Bro. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe his mother had passed.
Yeah.
I don't even think she was alive.
She passed on that same day.
Yeah, that's the room I'm hearing, that the day this happened was the anniversary of his mom's dying.
Right.
So that's why he was calling out for her.
So it's like you got to think about that, man. This man is in shock. You know, it's like he's already saying he can't breathe, and he's in shock, and we don't know the full out extent of it all. But then I did more research and noticed that there was another video. He was already in cuffs walking to the police car. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you already had the man detained. I don't know what took place with whatever verbal action took place between him and an officer, but there was no need for him to do what he did. There was no need for him to do the move in which he did, the combative move or restraint that he did. Absolutely. And what made it even worse was, you know, you had a paramedic sitting there saying, check the man's pulse, check the man's pulse, and not saying nothing. And it was so many, I could say, like I said, it was so many things that went on in that video alone that you could take away. But now, man, you know, our people they're upset. I mean, they're pissed. You know, it's to the point now where, you know, people are tired of marching and praying, and they trying to go into action. You know what I'm saying?
It's reached the boiling point again. Yeah,
the boiling point is there, and I feel that now it's more of a boiling point. Like that pot done spilled over. You know what I'm saying? And it's spilled over into not only the streets of Minneapolis, but then it spilled over into every street that a minority is living on. It then spilled over. You know, even here in Columbus, they talking about doing a peaceful protest on, I believe, the 6th of June. So I can only imagine what's about to happen here.
See, are you talking about Columbus, Ohio?
Columbus, Georgia.
Columbus, Georgia.
Because they're riding in Columbus, Ohio. I have some friends up there.
Yeah, and you know what
they're doing the same thing.
I'm sorry, brother. Say that again. I cut you off.
Oh no, they're just doing the same thing. I just wanted to know what Columbus he was talking about. That's all.
Oh, okay, yeah. But what I like seeing too is you have all different races coming together for this common cause. You know, and this is exactly what we need. You know, we need everybody to get together and recognize that these cops ain't moving right, man. These cops are not moving right. And if we don't have anybody protecting us, then what are we supposed to do? And this is the direct result of that. You know, we don't have anybody we can call on, not even each other. We can't even call one another and say, hey, yo, I got these cops moving on me. Yo, I need some type of, you know, protection with me. You know, they make us fear each other and fear, you know, protecting ourselves from them. You know what I mean? So this is, I believe this is essential. Sometimes you gotta, excuse my language, sometimes you gotta fuck some shit up in order for people to hear you. You know, what's that quote from Martin Luther King? Saying,
that a riot is a message from the unheard.
There you go, a riot is a message from the unheard. You know, we're tired of not being heard. How many times are we gonna go out there with signs, Black Lives Matter, please? How many times are we gonna put our hands up and they're gonna still kill us? How many times? You know, this has to stop. And we need strong legislation.
And it's like, you know, Derek, I think I told you, I wrote a song 2 years ago, Protect My Brother. You and Nari both saw it, talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, about the black killings. And I had a line in the song, you know, we built this damn country and we'll burn this bitch down. Right. And I'm not the only rapper that said it. Nobody really heard except for my friends. But people have been saying this for a while. But the privilege of people in America has them believe this never going to happen. You can burn it down. You're just going to burn your city down. You're just going to do this. We don't care. But now you got everybody rioting everywhere.
Right.
You know, you just be, oh, it's just happening in LA. It's just happening in Detroit. It's just happening in Chicago. People are simultaneously rioting, but people don't even know how to handle it. And then they want to tell us how we should react. Well, why don't you be like Martin Luther King? Why don't you be like this? Why don't you stop killing us? How about that?
We're not Martin Luther King. We don't live in Martin Luther King's era.
And you know, so it's funny you say that. It's funny you say that because I just saw, I know y'all saw it already, the press conference they had with T.I., Killer Mike.
Yeah.
And I believe Dr. Martin Luther King's daughter got up there, you know, and, you know, she was talking about, you know, when she lived through her father being assassinated, she was 6 years old when it happened. And she said she pretty much lived and conducted herself in rage off of that assassination because he was assassinated by law enforcement. Like she said that, you know what I'm saying? But one of the things that she did say, and I guess it was in the method of trying to get us in Atlanta, well, our folks in Atlanta to chill out with the rioting, was that she was like, hate never, you know, violence begetting violence never went nowhere. It never solved nothing. You know, how do we solve what we do? We go to the polls, we vote, you know, and I totally get that. I totally get going to the polls and voting. Yeah. But my next concern that I have is we don't really necessarily know the people we voting for.
Exactly.
Let's just be perfectly honest. Like, I don't have a personal relationship with the district attorney that's running for office. All I can go off of is what he's saying. And if what he's saying sounds good to me, I'm going to vote for him. But what makes me think that what he's saying is what he's really going to do when he occupies office?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's so many variables.
And not just that, people don't vote. They try to shut the polls down like they did with the Stacey Abrams versus Kemp election. Once they know we're going to there and vote, next thing you know, they make it more difficult for you to vote.
Yes.
But see, that should tell you something. Why are they going through so much trouble to stifle our vote? If votes didn't matter, they wouldn't go through all this trouble to keep it away from you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So there's power in the vote. So that's why we got to encourage all of our young people, everybody. I don't care how you feel. Go out there and vote, because that's how Trump got into office this last time, because we didn't go out and vote. 87% of African Americans didn't vote when he was running for president.
Right.
And he got in.
Right.
This would be my first time voting. I'm voting this year. I thought I couldn't vote because I was a convicted felon. I found out I could.
Get out there.
Just think about that knowledge that you got right there, Jay. Like, think about that knowledge. You didn't think you was able to because of your past. Think about how many
that's what they want you to think. I was stifled by that. You know, like, oh, I don't matter. I don't matter. I can't say this. Then, you know, my dad was telling me, research it. Then I researched it. I'm like, I can vote.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. But yo, this last question I got, I want to touch on you, D and King, because y'all both have sons. You know, King's son name is Braylon. You know, you got Zave, and you know you raised in Desmond Jr., Desmond II. You know, and back in the day, you know, we used to have a talk. You know, talk about the birds and the bees. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that used to be the most nerve-wracking thing ever to talk to your son about, you know? Because I know my brother had to have that conversation with me. But see, now you all are going to have a different kind of talk with your sons. You know, not only you got to teach them about the birds and the bees, but now you got to teach them how to move out here in these streets around police officers, you know? Because it's not just about, go ahead, comply with the officer's saying, because statistics show even when we comply,
Right.
we still get shot, we still get killed, it still goes awry, you know?
Right.
So,
Right.
King, I'm gonna start with you, man. When do you think is an appropriate time to have this conversation with your son? And how in depth would you go in it with him?
Well, first of all, I'm open with my son.
Right.
He's 10 years old. Basically, he's 23 years old, but he's 10. You understand what I'm saying? So he's on the news. He hear what's on the radio. And these kids right now, this generation, they so fast than what we were.
Right.
We might not want to fit it, but they are with
Right.
the technology and everything. So they see what's going on. Now, this is my problem with the generation, because it's a lot of us who came up in the 80s era, the 70s. So we have principles, we have morals, we have value. But then you have the other kids that's, you know, that their dad's not there, their mom, you know, might not even be there either. So it's just like, it's a each one teach one thing. So with me and my son, I'm so open with him. I let him know everything, just hand on, just everything. I might have to talk to him about this before the birds and the bees. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is
exactly
face.
Yeah, and that's what I was kind of alluding to. Because now that used to be the most pressing conversation we need to have with our kids. It's about sex, you know.
Right.
But now that's not even on the forefront of our mind. Now, now we worrying about, damn, is my son or my daughter going to come back home when they go off to school or when they go to work? You know what I mean? Or they could just be walking down the street talking with their friends and somebody roll up on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
By the kids being in school, where they out of school, but by they still being in school. It was a story about this white guy who wanted to shoot up the school in Decatur. See, now that's a problem. You know, when he threatened to kill people in the school system, white guy playing with the gun on Facebook or whatever. So it's just to the fact, like, it's more dangerous than ever, man. And it's like, okay, well, do we have this conversation right now as of today, or we wait? But why wait? Because it'll be too late.
Right.
I know what's going on. They know Cardi B. They know all the hottest records out here. Why we can't talk about what's really going on in the street?
That's
you know what
I mean? Point. You make a valid point.
So why hide any truth to the youth? Why hide it? It's here. They can cut on the news and walk past the living room and see it themselves.
Right.
So you have to be open and honest to all your kids, not even sons, all kids.
Right. You got to control the narrative. You know, you got to control the information the best way possible.
For sure.
Know? And, you know, D, your son is grown.
He's 18. Well, no, he ain't 18. He's 19. I like to call him 18, but it's funny you say that because
a blessing right there, man. That's a blessing, man. You look, hey man, you look like you're about 30. Like you look 30 over there, man. We're gonna keep that on the top, man.
But it's funny we talking about our sons, because like I said, my son was just here. You know what I'm saying? He just came to the house, and we literally had our real father-son conversation that we've had in a very, very long time. And one of the conversations we talked about was what's going on right now, because, you know, my son lives in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? He lives in Atlanta with his girl. And I talked about the protests, and he was like, yeah, man, you know, and I said, you know, they're getting stupid out there. And he was like, yeah, I get it. But he wanted to protest. And I told him, I said, you know what, son? Yeah, I said, you know what, son? Protest. You protest.
Wow.
But when it gets crazy, you know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
and he totally understood it. He said, I'm not out there. I ain't trying to be looting and none of that stuff. I'm trying to go there to protest what's going on and to make my voice, pretty much to join in with the voices that need to be heard, that
awesome.
needs to be a change, you know. And I said, yes, go out there and protest. If that's what you feel you need to do as an African-American man and what's going on in your society right now, do it.
That's
you know,
awesome, man.
But as soon as you start seeing stuff being thrown and people start acting crazy, I'm gonna need you to exit stage left. And he was like, Dad, I got you. You know what I'm saying?
Keep you safe, man.
Absolutely.
But bro, I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
You want to give anybody a shout out? You want to leave our young brothers and sisters with a little tidbit before you go?
Well, listen, all I wanted to say, you know, I'm a spiritual person, so, you know, I got a great relationship with God. So the first thing I'm gonna say is, you know, pray without ceasing. I am gonna say that. Pray without ceasing, and understand that it says in Ecclesiastes, there's a time and a season for everything, okay? And I want you to realize while you're sitting here and while you're listening to this podcast, I want every brother, every sister out there to realize, what time is it for you right now? Is it a time for you to be quiet, or is it a time for you to speak up? Is it a time for you to fight back, or is it a time for you to sit back? What time is it for you? Because my time may not be the same as Derek's time. It may not be the same as Josh's time. It may not be the same as King's. It may not be. Our times are different. You see what I'm saying? But you have to decide in yourself what type of time, what is it time for you to do right now? You know what I'm saying? And continue to pray without ceasing, because I guarantee you, everything in life is happening for a reason right now. Everything that is taking place right now is shuffling and shifting for a specific plan and a specific purpose, you know. And you're going to see a lot more preachers outside. You're going to see preachers out there protesting. You're going to see preachers out there on the streets now, because we realize the difference of what we realize, where the toll that God is taking us right now, you know. And we realize what's happening in this world is in front of us now. It's no longer behind closed doors. That curtain is being reeled back. But we have to decide individually, what are we bringing to the table to ensure that we changed the narrative? We have to change this narrative. We can't do it alone. So what time is it for you at this particular time span? I love you guys. DCXXXI, I love you, brothers. I can't wait to do this again with you all. Hopefully, God willing, we can actually be at a table doing this and looking at each other while we talking, man. I had a great time, man.
Hey, brother,
I love y'all.
Peace and love, man. Peace, family. I love you, man. Be safe out there.
All right, brother. God take care. God bless.
Bye.
God bless, man.
Yeah, man. That's my brother Desmond.
Now that was dope.
Yeah, man. That's my man's right there. Like I said, man, that
was dope, dude.
Yeah, man. So you gotta have people in your life that you know that you can call on, that can put you on the straight and narrow when you're not feeling too right up in here. You know what I mean? You gotta have somebody you can call on, you know. But the next brother here, I want to introduce y'all to, man. I'm gonna send him a message now, let him know to come. You know, it's his time to shine. You know what I mean? I want to introduce y'all to this young man right here. This is my younger brother, Troy.
How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
You know King, you know Mac.
Peace. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, man. That's what's up, man.
Man, that's a goddamn twin right there, ain't it? Oh, Lord.
What's going on, man?
Yeah, that's my brother right there, man. I love that kid, man.
I appreciate you for having me on today.
Absolutely, man. How you feeling?
A little hungover. Sorry about that last night.
Man, look, you enjoying your life. Like I just tell you, just make sure you're out there being safe.
Yeah. You already know. Trust me, I don't get out too much, but when I do, you know, I got to show out.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, we were having our conversation about, you know, recent events, you know, with George Floyd and the riots and the protests and what happened. You know, get people's opinion on how they feel about it. You know, how, you know, a lot of people don't agree on how they are protesting, but you can't really blame us for reacting like this.
Right.
You know, after a certain point, you know, the boiling point is going to be reached, and everybody's emotions are going to erupt at the same time. You know, the only thing you can hope to do is contain it so they don't get too bad.
Right.
So let me ask you, man, how did you feel about, I know because when you saw it, what was your feelings about seeing what the police were doing to George Floyd?
Well, of course, you know, I got strong emotions about that. you know, and a lot of people is going to come with different aspects of, basically they're going to try and throw his name. They're going to try and throw his name through the dirt before they justify what the police did to, detain him. But there's still no justification for killing a man. And I still feel like, if someone's saying I can't breathe, ease up. You know what I'm saying? Because what you're doing right now you're no longer detaining this man. Now you really got your knee on this man's neck. You know what I'm saying? So, as you said, I feel like the way they're going about the protests, I feel like that's a little barbaric. But people are tired.
Yeah.
People are tired. You know what I'm saying? And it's a long list of people prior to this young man who suffered. So right now it's the time.
Yeah.
It's the time.
Yeah, so I was telling people like something like this was just bound to happen. It's not if, it's when. This was inevitable.
Right.
If you look at our history, our track record, we've been doing this for decades.
Mm-hmm.
So now we at a point where, okay, after we protest, after we riot, what's next? We need a plan.
Well, like they was a lot of people that popular people on social media. They like basically we need to, if we can band together and do things like this, then we can band together and be more constructive and be more positive throughout our communities.
Right.
So
what does that look like?
Well, honestly, that's a good question, because once the smoke settles, reconstruction starts, and then people go back to waiting for the next outcome.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And the reason why I asked that is because a lot of people say we need a plan, but no one knows what that plan looks like.
Right. Right now, everything they're doing, they feel is justified.
Right. Everybody's standing around waiting for somebody else to make this plan when we can just start our own plan, But one thing we do need right now, we need strong legislation. You know what I mean? We need these cops to be held accountable. That's what we want to see. That's the justice we want to see. Yo, you kill us, he got to go to jail. That's murder.
Right. There's a lot of people in the news, that they're basically stating that, the police have a certain, they're trained to do their job this way.
Right.
But, when it comes to like how they detain you, I feel like, I understand how you're being taught that way. You understand what I'm saying? Like that they're supposed to use that way. Like if someone is being like, if someone's not cooperating, then they're supposed to use equal force.
Mm-hmm.
They're supposed to tire you so that you can stop resisting, But, the man wasn't resisting. He was dying.
And then you had two other cops kneeling. You had two other cops kneeling on his legs.
Right.
Thank you. I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah, so what type of resistance was he doing? And then when the cop was like, all right, now get in the car, he was like, okay.
Right.
You got to get up. He was like, come on, I'm giving you every chance to get up. He's like, come on, you gotta ease up off me so I can get in the car.
Right.
He was telling them, yo, I'll get in the car. You got to get up off me.
Mm-hmm.
But what was crazy is that he was on his neck for over 8 minutes.
That's
9 minutes, 23 seconds.
2 minutes of that, he was unconscious.
Right.
So after the man passed out, you still on his neck. You see what I'm saying? So I'm trying to understand the thought process. Like, what were you trying to accomplish? Like, what were you?
Honestly, I don't think he was thinking. You know what I'm saying?
Thinking about something, man.
I think he was just like, honestly, he was like from that still picture, the popular one that's circulating social media right now.
The one with the hand in his pocket, he's looking at the camera.
Yeah, he's just staring at the camera, like his facial expression is blank, like, yo, back up, let me do my job.
At this point, he didn't care because he didn't care, bro.
Right.
He didn't care. That was actions of a man who had no malice, no remorse for the person he was trying to detain.
Right.
Even after they detained him.
That's why, because every time I can scroll like every 4 pictures and keep seeing that picture on rotate. It just keeps coming back, and the more and more I look at it, you can just see like it looked like he's possessed by a demon.
He didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck.
Like a devil, exactly.
Yeah, man.
He didn't care.
So let me
I don't know how true it is. I heard he already had like 3 bodies on him anyway. Citation.
No, it's very true. He's
What's a fucking citation? Like he been doing shit.
Yeah, he had like
he has three disorderly or misconduct
Come on, now.
already messing with people that he's supposed to be detaining. He's shot 2 people.
Yeah, he had like a total of 18 complaints of like harassment over his career.
Right.
You know, and each time the DA refused to charge him or prosecute him. And so now we at a point where this man killed somebody.
Yeah.
You know, so not only for me, exactly. So not only for me do I want the badges of all 4 of those cops, I need the DA's job because your negligence caused that man's life.
Right.
For whatever reason why you didn't want to charge that man, now he done killed somebody. So your gross negligence cost somebody their life.
And then they were just talking about on the news, like, this is the fastest we ever charged a police officer in an investigation before. Normally, incidents like this take like 9 months. I was like,
I'm like, why is that? Why?
These people out here ain't playing.
They like, we need to find reasonable doubt. But this video shows a lot of reasonable doubt.
Think about it. This is actually the second person he killed. He's killed somebody else before.
Three police places.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't playing, man. Especially the young people. It's the younger crowd, the younger generation. They ain't going for that shit, man.
Nah, they're not having that.
But that's who we need to support, and that's
right.
what we need to protect. We need to protect our younger generation because our younger generation is doing the work that we want to see. You see what I'm saying? So they need our support. They the soldiers going out there fighting and screaming for us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They are young soldiers. You know, so we gotta have their back.
Cause was you out there, Derek?
Huh?
Was you out there?
Was I out there? Back in the day, yeah, I was. You know, I did my share of protest, but now, I can't do that, man. I got plantar fasciitis. I can't be.
Was you out there? Hey, it's the younger generation, and they ain't going for this shit, man. It was just a matter of support them.
But see, here's the thing.
Go off in the limb.
But you see, here's the thing. Even though, you know, I got my ailments and arthritis and all that stuff, if it go down, it go down.
Right.
You know what I mean? If I'm ever put in a position where it's my life or yours, you're not just going to take my life.
Right.
And I feel the same way about each and every one of you brothers here. If there's ever a situation where it was either your life or theirs, and you called me and say, yo, D, I need you, help. I'm there.
Right.
You see,
I witnessed that firsthand.
You know what I mean?
It's just like it didn't take them long to burn up 3 police stations, man.
Yeah, man. They running through the cities,
they
man.
through this shit.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers ain't got no job. Motherfuckers ain't got no money. They ain't got no unemployment. They ain't got shit. So they ain't got nothing but time.
Right.
Yeah. But
to do all the fuckery.
But the destruction that they're doing it to their own neighborhood.
But you see, you got to be careful.
Somebody glitching.
You got insurgents, man. You got insurgents in the protests going in there, starting shit and blaming the protesters.
The agitators.
Yeah.
The agitator in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
He started the burning of the AutoZone. They got it. I got to watch it. He's a cop. He was running through, breaking the windows, and the people tried to stop him. It was like, "Hey man, what you doing?" He's like, "You run up on me, I'm gonna punch you." And one black dude, he's up there with a little Caesar pizza. He's like, "What? You want to smoke? Hold my blunt. Let's get it."
Yeah, I seen that dude. I seen that dude. And then somebody in the crowd took a picture of him and sent it to his girl. It was like, "Yo, ain't this your man?" He was
the ex-wife blew him out. That's what happened. She saw it on social media. That's her gas mask that she used to use.
Yeah, he's like, "Yo, that's my mask and my gloves."
That's crazy. I just seen on social media a cop just punched the lady right in her face.
Yo, these cops out here are real reckless.
I saw that.
You saw that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and then the comments was like, well, she swung on the cop first, but they ain't give the other dude no right to just cold cock her like that. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
If your girlfriend swing on you first and you beat her up, you still gonna go to jail.
They ready to fuck you up. You can kick up some dust. Oh, they ready. You can do everything. You got down, spit in the air. That way, they ready to fight. They ready to fight, shoot, stab, whatever they got to do to take you out.
I saw a video. Dude, he was talking to the cop and he just did this. People right there. As soon as he did that,
it was
the cop yanked him up, pushed him down, I'm like, he wasn't even being aggressive. He was, you know, we talk with our hands. That's just how we are.
Right. He saw an
And
opportunity.
as soon as his hands went up and did this, he went and choked him out.
Yeah, he saw opportunity. He jumped on it.
And I feel Steven Jackson, Captain Jack. I don't know if that was his real brother, but they look just alike.
Yeah, they say they were twins.
George Floyd and Steven Jackson, former NBA basketball player. That's the same guy who you know what I'm saying, who fight with Ron Artest with Detroit. He was in the crowd. Oh, he a
Meta
real
World Peace.
He from Texas. He a real I follow, bro. Like I follow, bro. He a real one. So I know when he's hurt, it's a different hurt, man. It's a different hurt. He said he gave him some money because he was in driving truck school. I don't know how true it is, but he was in school or he was driving trucks, George Floyd. And he shipped them to Minnesota or Minneapolis or whatever, wherever they at, right?
Same place.
Gave him some money, gave him some clothes, and he woke up to him being dead.
That's
Steve Jackson.
Wow.
He got a podcast show. Him and Matt Barnes. Shout out to
I can't remember the name, but yeah.
All the smoke or something, but they got
smoke. Yeah.
They got good things going on, and I really feel for him. Shout out to Steve Jackson and Matt Barnes, all the smoke and everybody else, man. You know, that's what's up though.
Absolutely, man. So Troy, let me ask you this. So you got 3 sons, man.
Yeah, man.
Now, tell us your son's names, man.
So my oldest, you got to stamp the first one. Oldest is Troy Jr. My middle son is Cameron, and my youngest is Timothy.
Timothy, yes, my nephews, I love it.
You know, fatherhood never seems so nice, man.
That's a beautiful thing, man. That's a beautiful thing. So Troy's sons, they're mixed. They're black and they're Hispanic.
Yeah, and Kenya just started doing her ancestry, so she over here talking about she African American now.
All right. Ooh. All right, we'll touch on that later.
Right.
But nah, fuck that. What do you mean?
Like nah, so last week when I last saw her, we was talking, and I was just like, I gave her a hug, you know, I'm like mad taller than her. So I was smelling her hair. You know, I don't know what it is about me and smelling girls' hair. That shit just smell good. So she was like, what you think? And I was like, you know, it smell real Nubian. And she was just like, what do you mean? And I was just like, you know, it smell like you've been using the Supergirl, because that's the grease I use. You know what I'm saying? And it has like it has this smell. It has this smell.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So she was just like, well, I did my ancestry last month, and I just found out that I'm like 5% African American. I was just like, oh, word. So you claiming now? And she was just like, well, yeah, you know, my kids are. You know what I'm saying? So I was just like, say no more.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit.
It wasn't funny.
Beautiful thing. You know, that's a beautiful thing.
For sure.
So, I mean, it's you know, we kind of do come from the same place, you know, but so saying you're African American kind of redundant, you know. But anyway, cool. Welcome to the team. You know.
You sound like the draft on Dave Chappelle, man.
Yeah. Black Delegation.
Yeah, oh wow, yeah. I still got those CDs, man. I should definitely watch that. The last time
Don't you cut them
I got them too, man.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you this, man. You know, you got to have the birds and the bees talk with the boys.
Oh man.
You know? But now you got to have a talk with them about how to interact with police officers in the street. You know, so when do you feel is an opportune time or the right age to start having that conversation with them, since you got younger boys?
Well, I'm gonna say when I could trust them coming home from school alone.
Okay.
You know, so once he starts doing that, then I'll start having that conversation with him about, you know, the right, you know, the necessary moves and how to avoid this, and you know, protecting him from the wrong crowd and hanging out with the wrong kids. You know, like, you know, it's funny because me, you know, Kenya, you know, she smokes more weed than me, but she was just like I would rather my son smoke with me than, you know, he'd be outside hiding it from me. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know, I could respect that, you know, but, you know, ultimately I probably would want to keep him from doing that for as long as possible. You know what I'm saying? That's just, you know, just my philosophy on it. You know, I don't want him to focus on that right now, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, to answer your question, just when I could trust him coming home from school, you know, right now we're working with him with crossing the street because that boy refuses to turn his head to see if a car is coming. You know what I'm saying? It's annoying. You know, I'm like middle of the day, I'm just yelling at him. Yo, when you gonna look that way? When you gonna look this way? Why you keep walking just because I'm walking? You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we already crossed the street and he goes, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, car ain't gonna pop up on the sidewalk. You know what I'm saying?
You wanna know what's so funny? Yo, fellas, I'm laughing because I've had the same conversation with him when he was their age. Teaching my younger brother to cross the street.
Yeah, man.
You wouldn't wait. You would dart out the street.
But I sure enough I got my bell rung getting hit.
You got your bell rung. You stopped doing that shit, right? Hell yeah.
Yo, man.
He's darting out between cars, and Brooklyn, you can't do that.
You can't do that.
You know what I mean? So he darted out between two cars, and the car caught him. Bah! He ain't
rolled up on it
no more.
Rolled up on the thing, came down. That day changed my life, man. That day changed.
I bet. Man.
Getting hit by a car will change your life, man.
That's a fact. And I was lucky to go on top instead of underneath, you know?
Exactly.
That's a great way to look at it, you know? You know what I mean? But
yeah.
You were talking about when they're old enough to go to school by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It brought up a funny story because the first day mommy let you go to school by yourself, I cut school for a whole week and followed you.
For real?
That ass.
Yeah, I ain't know, you gotta show me how to do that.
I cut school for a whole week just to follow you to school. Make sure you got to school safe.
When I was going to what? Beginning with children at that time, maybe?
I don't think you was going to 38.
35,
yeah.
I met this older dude who went to PS 35, and ever since we found out about each other, all we do is, yo, PS 35. You know what I'm saying? That'd be mad funny. He's funny.
Yeah, man. But yo, Troy, it was a blessing having you on, man. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Derek. Man. I'm sorry about that. I was, last night, once the liquor get in the system, ain't no telling. You know what I'm saying? You caught me in a weak moment. I'm like, yo, you ready? I'm like, for what?
Yeah, this dude was like, what are you talking about?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, what do you mean? We had a whole conversation. And this is what I was telling him. I said, let me call him right now.
Yeah.
Been forgot.
Hold up, real quick. Which one of y'all the oldest?
Derek.
He is.
Oh, okay.
Nah,
hey,
I'm oldest, man.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, Troy, don't feel bad. They gotta do me the same way sometimes. They be on my ass about the same thing. They gotta make sure I'm back all right from last night. So don't feel bad, man.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on, big homie.
I appreciate y'all having me, man. It was a blessing. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Troy, thank you again. I can't wait to have you on again. So stay tuned, y'all.
All right, mad love.
Peace, family.
You safe.
Yeah, man. So that was.
Hey, man, talk to the chick.
Who you think you are, man?
My friend Brittany. She said her phone died. That's what had.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll get it back on later. But would you say, Matt?
I said, who you think you are? You got this thing rolling, boy.
Man, look.
I'm watching it. I'm over here. I'm like, I feel like I'm famous.
Come on, brother. Come on, man. You in good hands.
The way you got it,
Hold up, man. Hold on, Derek. Say that man your name, man.
Look, man, you in good hands. Just call me Allstate, baby.
Woo!
Man, I didn't know what his name is. His name is Mr. Jordan.
There you go.
Yeah, man. Yo.
Rascal.
Yo, we're gonna shut this down. I want to give a shout out to y'all.
Man, that's no footage you got, man.
Yeah, man. I want to give a shout out to our kids, man. Shout out to Akira. Shout out to Braylon. Shout out to my daughter Jalen. Shout out to my nephew Jabin. Excuse me. He gonna kick my ass. Jabin. Shout out to Tracy's daughter Jalen. Had a successful kidney transplant.
Yes, sir.
God bless.
We psyched about that. And she doing real good. She walking around, she eating and everything. So that's a blessing. I know that's a great weight lifted off our Tracy's shoulders. You know, Tracy, we love you. Jalen, we love you. You know, God bless.
Tracy, we definitely love you, baby.
Yeah. So, fellas, once again, great having you. We got to do, you know, we're going to be back at it once again, you know. Look at my man, King. Crazy.
Let's go, man. We're official, man.
One.
We're official. Like
Yes,
a referee's whistle.
Tell him.
You got to get this man on the track.
Teach one. Burn something, learn something.
Yeah, burn something, learn something. Oh, man, yeah. Okay, we're going to be out on that one. But definitely each one, teach one. Huh?
Those are from the words from the great man, Method Man.
Burn one, learn something.
Burn something and learn something.
That's what I'm talking about.
You don't even smoke, motherfucker. You want to burn? What you burning?
You said you want to smoke something? What you want to burn?
I ain't burn what y'all burn. We already had this conversation. When y'all see me in Vegas breakdancing on my lip, you know what time it is.
The future is green, brother. Always.
Back over there
My
bugging
future's just bright.
That's it, man. We alive, baby.
Chill.
I gotta spread my hustle, increase my gains. I gotta elevate my mind, I can't keep moving the same. I gotta spread my hustle, increase my gains. I gotta elevate my mind, I can't keep moving the same. I gotta spread my hustle,